why I believe that surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals is actually a huge mistake that highly successful women are making. Buenos dias, don't be rude, say it back. Welcome to another Mother Not a Martyr Monday. So I'm psyched to come back to you this Monday with a topic that's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but honestly, you're in the beast den, so you already know what it is. And it's stop surrounding yourself with like-minded people. This is controversial because we've been told you want to surround yourself with people who have the same values, and I've even said it in the past, like surround yourself with people that have the same values, that have the same mindset as you do, people that have the same aspirations and goals. And my intention for today is that you leave here understanding that you might have maybe already outgrown your current circle of influence. You might be in a space or position where if you have hit that ceiling and you're the person that everybody's turning to, it's probably time for you to start seeking out a new circle, what I call a circle of possibility. This is going to go beyond networking, okay? I'm not talking just networking when I say who's within your circle of possibility. I'm talking about who are the people that you are constantly connecting with, who are the people that you call on a daily basis, the people that you co-work with, the people that you hang out with just in your everyday life. It's not just business that we're talking about. Your circle of possibility are people that you do life with, essentially. You always want to make sure that you're auditing, that you're vetting who these people are, and we'll get into exactly how you're going to do that in a little bit. I believe that there's a time and a place to start with this concept, and even I've said it to many people over the years. And as I've continued to grow in business, as I've continued to grow in my own mindset, as I've continued to grow in my success in life, I've realized that this is just, it's such a mistake. It's such a mistake for you to put yourself in rooms of like-minded women and like-minded individuals and people who see life exactly the same way that you do. And I'm going to explain to you today why that is. I believe in what's called a circle of possibility. When I address my circle of influence, I believe them to be my circle of possibility. And the reason why I use this term is because everybody that I surround myself with, okay, whether that's in my parenting, whether that's in my marriage, whether that's in my business, in my own aspirations and who I am as a woman, I am constantly looking at what is that person's own ceiling. What do they truly believe is possible for them? And the reason why I ask myself this question is because that energy becomes contagious. Okay, my mom used to tell me this all the time and I hated it. But it's dime con quién tú andas y te diré quién eres. Tell me who it is you surround yourself with and I'll tell you exactly who you are. And I didn't believe that to be the truth when I was in high school and college. I thought that it was just an absolute mom thing, right? She was just trying to get me to not hang out with the wrong crowd. Over time, I've come to understand that she's 100% correct. Prior to meeting my husband, my goal was always freedom. I wanted to be free. That's it. I didn't care what that would look like. I didn't really have any big ideas for work or anything like that. I was doing college because it's what I had to do. But once I met my husband and I realized there was all this freedom that was possible for us, I very quickly started changing what I thought would be possible for me. And I see that now in retrospect. In the moment, I had no idea that was happening. Now that I looked back and I can see, oh, wait a minute, this is really when I started realizing there's so much more possibility. There's so many more options here. That would not have been a probability for me. That would not have been something that I would have been able to see had I not met him, had I not made that connection. And so now when I give people access to me, I ask myself, what is their own internal belief as to what's possible for them? Because then their ceiling becomes my ceiling as well. And if my ceiling is over here, your ceiling cannot be over here. We are not going to communicate in the same way. The language is not going to be the same. I need people who are going to force my ceiling to go all the way up here because that's what they believe for themselves. And that's what I want to believe for myself as well. I always want to try and expand who I know I can be. I know that there's so much more inside me. And when you have that feeling that there's more, sometimes all you need is the vision of what more can look like. Once you have a picture of what more can look like, all of a sudden your entire world erupts because you're like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking and I've been seeing so small. I didn't even realize I was playing so small. I didn't even realize it. Who's going to help you realize that? Your circle of possibility. It's your circle of possibility. And so I believe that surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals becomes a clutch for you. It becomes a crutch for you because now you are the person that everyone else turns to for permission. You are the person that everyone turns to for advice, for coaching. You are the person that everyone turns to for applause, instead of you being the person that enters a room where everything that you say is being challenged. I recently had a situation where I created this very robust proposal for a client. And during this pitch, I came into this knowing, one, it was a lot of money. It's $3 million that I was pitching, the job that I was pitching for. And as I'm going through this process and I'm showing him all of the data and the stats and the information, and my pitch is just solid, and I'm using all of my tools, and I'm cool, calm, and collected, I also have the awareness that I'm going to be rebutted, that there's going to be things that I'm going to be questioned about. Not because of how much money was on the line, had nothing to do with the money. It had everything to do with who I was approaching. And the very reason that I even pitched this project to begin with is because it was with this person who I knew would force me into an elevated space, who would force me to view things from different angles, who would give me advice and new concepts and ways of thinking through his rebuttals. I put myself in that position on purpose because I knew that if I went to someone else, not someone necessarily that was less successful, but just someone else, they would probably have looked at my proposal and said, this is so aesthetic, this is so beautiful, I need to make a mock of this because this is the standard. But someone in maybe an old circle of possibility would not see what he sees because his ceiling is so much higher than maybe theirs. So when you put yourself in different rooms, be prepared to be pushed, to be questioned, for everything that you say to be rebutted. Why? Because they want to push you into being better. And if you want better for yourself, if you want maximum success, if you want maximum possibility, you need to put yourself in the rooms with people who will force you into that place. Expansion doesn't happen by accident. It is completely on purpose. You have to find these rooms. And so then that becomes the question of, Sloan, well, I believe that I've outgrown my circle, right? How do I know that? Well, they're always asking you for permission instead of challenging you. They're always going to come to you and say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? No, people in big circles of possibility, they will hold a mirror to you and say, what do you think about it? How do you feel about this? They hold a mirror up to you. They don't just accept your answers. They're going to push back because they know that you can go deeper. And also they know that like-minded was never the goal. They understand that self-trust was always the goal. The more you achieve success, the more accolades that you begin to compress and compound into your life, the more important it's going to be for you to know how to trust yourself. You see, people in high circles of possibility, they will always ask you, what do you think? Because they know that step one is for you to make the decision. You need to make the decision before you approach them. They won't make the decision for you. People in lower frequency circle of possibilities will ask you to make the decision for them. So that's number one. That's the number one way that you know that you're starting to phase out of this group. Number two is exactly what I said. These are people that are constantly going to applaud everything that you do. Girl, that was so good. This is so beautiful. Like I said with my proposal, that's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. This is the standard. You are the blueprint. clock it, right? No. No. In order for me to be better, I need to be challenged. In order for me to be better, and this may be just the masochist in me, but this is how I've experienced such fast growth, is because I know how it is that I accept feedback, how it is that I grow. And again, it goes back to knowing yourself. And so with me, I know I don't want the applause. I don't want the praise. Tell me where the gaps lie. Tell me where the possibilities lie, and then I can strip everything down back from there. If you're in a room where everything you do is being applauded, you are staying in a space of comfortability. Now, there's a couple of questions that you can ask yourself to begin auditing your circle of possibility. The first question is, after I leave these conversations, do I feel more like myself or do I feel more like that other person? And if I feel more like that other person, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, is that something that I actually want? Would I trade places with this person? If the answer is no, then you have your answer right there. You have your answer right there. The next question is, does she ask me what I think, or does she tell me what she would do? Your circle of possibility, the people inside that circle should always hold a mirror up to you. They should not just be telling you what to do. They should always be redirecting those questions right back to you. The third question is, have I changed a decision because of her opinion? Are you valuing their opinions over your decision, your values, the alignment to what you know you need to do? That is a very dangerous place, because we value mentors, we value coaches, and as a coach myself, I know that there are decisions that my clients could probably want me to make for them. That's a dangerous place to be. I can give you my advice, and I only give my advice after I already know what it is that they want to do. I want to hear, are you listening to your own intuition, or are you waiting for me to give you the answer based off of my experience, my knowledge, what I know about you? The last one is, does this person challenge my thinking? You need to be in spaces where you are being challenged. That is how you grow. That is how you expand. And if you want to live a life that is absolutely audacious, it is your responsibility to be in the energetic space of saying, I'm no longer available for these rooms. I'm no longer available for these conversations. I'm no longer available for these connections. And energetically, you will find, because this is a question that I've gotten in the past too, how do I find these people who are 10 steps ahead of me, 5 steps ahead of me? How do I find them? I'm not well connected like that. You don't have to be well connected. You have to be in the energetic space of embodying the woman that is in those rooms. And you'll notice that you'll be at Sephora and a woman will compliment you on your lipstick, and all of a sudden you start connecting. You're like, this is exactly the kind of person that I wanted to have a relationship with. This is exactly the kind of person that I wanted to be in connection with. Of course, because you were energetically already there. And so it was just a matter of time until that's what you attracted. Now, I want to give you the permission that you don't need, but in case you do, here it is. You're allowed to outgrow your circles. You're allowed to say, these relationships no longer serve me, or I can love this person from afar. It's okay to do that. What I am saying, however, is if you want to live a life that is so far beyond what you ever thought was possible, a life that's audacious, a life that's full of adventure, a life that's full of surprises, a life that is simply magnificent, you need to find people that are going to show you what's possible for you too. You need to find those people. You need to constantly expand your ceiling, push through those thresholds, because once you have a vision, once your brain has a vision of what's possible for you, once you put yourself there, your brain cannot distinguish between what's false and what's reality. And therefore, once you have a vision for it, it's already reality in your brain. And so it's just a matter of time until physically your life catches up to that. But if you don't have a vision for it first, then how will you ever get there? And there are people that can give you that vision of what that looks like. You may have this feeling of I'm meant for more, and you have no idea what that more even looks like because you haven't met the person that's already living that out. And you won't if you stay in your current circles. So it's important for you to find your people. It's important for you to create that energetic space within yourself and walk in that so that your circle of possibility can be expanded. You deserve to live a life that surprises you day in and day out. Not once a year, not once every 5 years. Every single day you deserve to be surprised by life. And if you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, it would take you so much longer to get there. Because success doesn't come from surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. Success comes from surrounding yourself with a circle of possibility of people who force you to expand what you think, why you think it is that way, what you believe is possible for you. And so I hope today's Mother Not a Martyr Monday was helpful for you. I know that this is how I have experienced massive success really, really quickly. I can't think of anything else that has impacted me so greatly than surrounding myself with people who have expanded my way of thinking each and every time, forcing me to shatter the ceilings within myself each and every time. And so I know that this is going to actually change your life. Not like in a woo-woo way, but actually change your life. I will see you in next week's Mother Not a Martyr IG Live. Bye guys.